How's it going, everybody, and welcome to the channel. Today we are taking a look at the Akaso Keychain camera. It is the smallest 4K 30 frames per second, 60 minutes of recording time, highly portable camera with electronic image stabilization 2.0 and 5G Wi-Fi phone app connectability. Now the form factor is very similar to the popular Insta360 Go camera, but it is twice in weight. It is IP56 water resistant. It has a 124-degree field of view. It measures in at 57.7 millimeters by 27.8 millimeters by 14.1 millimeters and weighs in at 45 grams. It will take 20 megapixel photos. And the resolution dimensions are 3264 by 2448 pixels. The video resolution choices are 4K at 30 frames per second, 2.7K at 60 frames per second, 2.7K at 30 frames per second, 1080p at 60 frames per second, 1080p at 30, .720p at 120, and 720p at 60 frames per second. Now, these clips you have just seen is with the electronic image stabilization set to the off position. Now, here is what it looks like with the electronic image stabilization turned on. So as you can see, the electronic image stabilization takes a huge chunk out of the 124-degree field of view and makes it look almost like a 90-degree field of view video. Not a very desirable feature. It is very unfortunate that it does this because I was so looking forward to stabilized videos while maintaining the 124-degree field of view. So the electronic image stabilization needs to be turned off to enjoy the 124-degree field of view. Now the electronic image stabilization is supported from 4K setting to 1080p setting and not in the 720p setting modes. So taking a closer look, we have the lens in the front, and the front has a clear plastic cover minus the area around the camera lens. Now there's LED lights around the camera lens you can turn on manually by long pressing of the shutter switch when the power is on. Now it is visibly bright, but it does not help very much for shooting videos in the dark. Now the sides and the rear is made of solid white plastic material. We have a microphone hole on the top. Now there's the dual function power push button on and off switch. Now long press the top closer to the camera lens to power up. There is a haptic feedback when it turns on and also when it turns off. It stays in a standby mode till it gets a short press, and now it is ready to capture videos. The shutter is on the bottom side of the switch and will only take a video when down pressed. Photos can only be taken via the phone app. Now there's a haptic feedback when it starts recording, but not when it stops recording. The flashing blue LED light indicates recording. So if you set it to the photo mode and disconnect the Wi-Fi connection, the camera will automatically go back to the latest used settings in the video mode. So you can only take a photo within the Wi-Fi phone app itself. Now, while the Wi-Fi is connected, the video shutter can only be activated via the phone app also, and not with the physical button. But with the Wi-Fi disconnected, the physical buttons will resume its functions. To turn on Wi-Fi, simply short press the power side of the switch. The yellow LED indicates Wi-Fi. Now, when it is flashing, it is actively searching or connecting to a device, and when it is connected, it will go solid. All right, so once the Wi-Fi is turned on, you want to go into your device and go into the Wi-Fi section of your settings and connect to the SNKC Wi-Fi network. And you will be connected to the device. You can type in the password if they ask for a password. It is 123456789. And once you have successfully connected, you can go ahead and connect with the app. The app is called Akaso Go app, a free downloadable app in the App Store. So tap on the app. It is an iPhone app enlarged to fit the iPad here. So you will be going into the connected device page, and you just go ahead and tap on connect, and you should have Wi-Fi FPV. I have the camera right here in front of the box. There you go. The Wi-Fi range is about 20 meters. I've tested it walking around the house, and it kills off at about 20 meters or so. So in the Wi-Fi phone app, we have the view screen. We have the shutter icon. You can switch from video to photo, and there is a photo album, and you can also go to the full screen mode, which will take you into the landscape mode. You can change the video modes from video to loop recording. And if I set it, it will give me a loop recording interval, 1 minute, 3 minutes, and 5 minutes. I can set it to 5 minutes if I want. And you can also go into the time-lapse video mode. And in the time-lapse video mode, you got intervals as well. You got 1 second, 3 second, 5 second, 10 second, 30 second, and 1 minute. You can even set it to 1 minute here. And you can go to the slow motion video mode, and you can switch resolutions from 720p at 120, 1080p at 60, or 720p at 60 frames per second, and you can set it to your preference. So it stays in the portrait mode when it is straight up and down, and it will do landscape mode only on its side with the power button on the top when the auto rotation is set to the off position. When the auto rotation is on, whichever side is up will become the top, but once recording has started, rotation stays locked. So it cannot shoot landscape mode while it is physically in the portrait position. So to power off, long press the top of the button, it will give off another haptic feedback and power off. So on the bottom is where we find the USB-C charge port, the reset pinhole switch, which I had to use several times already due to the camera freezing up while using the Wi-Fi phone app to change resolutions, and the micro SD card slot. It supports up to a 64 gigabyte micro SD card. Now there is a built-in magnet on the rear, so it can be mounted to any magnetic surfaces such as the refrigerator, your car, or any other metal object. Now it comes with a silicone protective carry case. It's supposed to go in this way. You see the microphone hole there? Just like that. So you can use like a lanyard or a neck chain to hang it on your neck and use it in that manner. But I like using it this way and carry it in my pocket so it'll protect the camera lens. It also comes with a 90-degree camera tilt pivot stand that'll rotate 360 degrees at about 30-degree angle, and one spot where it can fully go 90 degrees. It has a metal plate to magnetically attach the camera so the camera will stay in place. It has a unscrewable base stand that also has a reusable sticky pad, one of those you can wash and clean. And this reusable sticky pad is super sticky. I used it on the inside of the car windshield and it works really good. It works a lot better than those suction cups because it doesn't want to come off. It took me about good 5 minutes to try and take this thing off, and I finally succeeded taking it off, and it still remains very sticky. Now once the base is removed, there is a 1/4-inch screw hole, so it can be mounted on a tripod or even on a selfie stick. Very convenient. We are also provided with a magnetically charged pendant mount to place under a garment to keep the camera in place hands-free. You could hang the pendant around your neck on the inside of your shirt. So there's a couple of holes there. So you can put a necklace type neck strap, but one of those neck straps was not provided. However, it still works really well. I had it underneath my shirt and I was riding a bicycle and it stayed put. Since they are both magnets, they have a really strong bond. We are also provided with a metal plate clip mount for mounting it to a headband or to the back of a hat on the strap area. And in my case, it would be a visor, of course. It can be used to mount the camera to a drone as well. We also get this charge/data cable. However, the USB-C port on the device does not support data transfer, even if you turn on the power to the device while it is connected to the computer. So to extract the recorded videos, the micro SD card has to be taken out. However, the USB to USB-C cable does transfer data just fine. I was able to extract my photos and videos taken on my GoPro with this cable, and this cable works fine with the simulator when I'm using with my TX16S to my laptop. So here are some of the pros and cons that I have found out. The cons are the EIS takes off a chunk of the video's field of view. The USB-C connector doesn't transfer data, and the fill LED light is not bright enough to take videos in the dark. There's no flow state or equivalent editing software. And landscape mode can only be had when the camera is on its side and not straight up and down. Some of the pros are a whopping 1 hour of recording time from a single charge, 4K resolution as well as 2.7K resolutions, slow motion at 120 frames per second, also at 60 frames per second, 720p as well as 1080p, time-lapse recording. Wi-Fi is 5G and the range is good for about 20 meters. And it supports up to a 64 gigabyte micro SD card. So that'll do it for this video review of the Akaso Keychain camera. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. Have a great day and we'll see you again next time.